What's going on, everyone? I'm Pigpen, the one and only, and welcome to Pigpen Live episode. Well, I'm not even sure actually what episode is. I've just been having so much fun that I've totally lost track of what I've been doing. So all I know is that we're gonna continue to let the good times roll. So with me tonight are two awesome guests. If you guys play Racing Rivals religiously as I do, then I'm sure you know these two fantastic individuals. Let me introduce you to them. First off, we have someone who has already live streamed with us once already for the 6.30 update. This man is a lightning rod for controversy, loved by few, hated by many, Mr. James. This is the last pair of Yellow Jackets, Caricano. Hello, James. How you doing?
Not bad, Joe. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good myself. And now, the guest of honor. This man had the privilege of dealing with us and our snotty attitudes for over 4 years as our community manager. Give a nice warm welcome to RR, the man with the band hammer, Ryyst. How you doing, Ryyst?
Hey, how's it going?
All right, so I guess from here on out, we're going to call him Rich because he is our former community manager. First of all, Rich, I just want to give you a round of applause. I thought you did an absolutely spectacular job as community manager, and I know you put up with a lot of garbage from a lot of people, and it's got to be probably very tough, tougher than you probably ever let on. So I just want to let you know that on behalf of myself and many, many others that we definitely appreciate everything you've done for us as a community manager.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, like, with everything I go through, at the end of the day, my job was to talk to gamers.
Mm-hmm.
How bad could that really be?
Well, I've talked to gamers, and I can tell you it's pretty bad at times.
I mean, it could be worse. I've been talking to like politicians and bankers.
Okay, I mean, I know, but gamers, you get on the internet and the anonymity just allows people to be complete jackholes. But, anyways, okay, guys.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we're going to do a little quick icebreaker, I guess. Something stupid just to kind of get us going. I'm going to give you guys each a choice, two choices, and you got to pick one. So, Rich, we'll start with you. Mac and cheese or bacon?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese over bacon? Ugh, all right. All right, James, Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts?
I don't even have a Dunkin' Donuts here. That's a no-brainer. Tim Hortons all day.
Oh, I was going to say that is a no-brainer. I was going to say Mr. Canadian there. Rich, video games or movies?
Oh, man.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. That's like my life right there. I'd go with movies.
Movies. All right. Wow. Okay.
That's very close.
James, baseball or hockey?
Baseball all day.
Baseball. Wow.
Been playing it since I
Are you
was
sure
3.
you're Canadian?
Yep.
All right, Rich. You think it was good? Here's Disney or music?
Music.
What? Really?
I'm a musician, man.
Wow, that's a shocker. All right, James. Coors Light or food?
Now you're killing me. If my buddy Rod's listening, Coors Light all day long.
All right. So, guys, while we're doing this, I'm going to try to check the live chat. If you guys have questions for either Rich or James or myself, throw them out there in the live chat. I'm going to try to keep an eye on it. If there's some really good questions, I'll see about asking them. So if there's anything you've ever wanted to ask, now's your chance. Okay, Rich, Star Wars or breathing?
It's very close. I have to go with breathing so I can enjoy Star Wars.
All right. Last one here, James, cars or trucks?
That's tough. I like to be low and slow to the ground. Cars, buddy.
All right. Okay. So that's just a stupid little icebreaker. I don't know. But all right, Rich. Just while I have you here, just had some questions for you. I guess we'll just start this off. And my question for you, and this is what I've always wanted to know, is how did you get your start in the video game industry? It sounds like a dream job. And I know on the other side, the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, and it's a job in the end of the day. But come on, in the video game industry, that sounds amazing. How did you get your start?
It's not really that exciting. It's for me, it was mostly luck and where I was at the time. Like I grew up in Chicago, and in 2004, I decided to move to California with my family. I moved up north actually to San Ramon, California. It's kind of outside of San Francisco. And my sister moved to Irvine, California.
Okay.
And I was just looking for jobs. And World of Warcraft from Blizzard was being released that October or November when I was there. And was looking up jobs at different places. I looked up like LucasArts and like Activision and stuff like that. And I looked up Blizzard because I've been a big Blizzard fan forever.
Yeah, same here.
And I saw that they were I saw they were located in Irvine, California. I'm like, hey, my sister's in Irvine. I might as well apply for. They were hiring for game masters for World of Warcraft.
What the hell's a game master? Is that just like a?
It's pretty much their customer service.
Oh, okay.
But it's cooler to be called a game master and then, hey, customer service guy. So we're like had our own game master names. But yeah, I just applied, and then like the week after World of Warcraft came out, they invited me for an interview. I was totally dressed up to the nines. Interviewing with two guys in like slippers and shorts and t-shirts at like 11:30 at night. So it's this weird kind of thing. I'm like, I need to be in video games because this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
That seems pretty cool.
Yeah, and I interviewed, but I didn't hear anything for like 2 months, and I just decided to move to Southern California anyway. And the day I moved to Southern California is when I got the call from Blizzard that I had a job. And so I was there for 7 years. And yeah, I can't imagine myself not being in video games, except for maybe movies. But yeah.
Wow. So is it really as awesome as I think it would be? Because I picture guys running around with remote controlled helicopters, those plastic honking hammers beating each other in the head with them, and ping pong tournaments. Is it really as cool as I picture? Or is there just a lot of work?
It would have to be, the culture, right? At Blizzard and at even C and Glue. It was very, very. It was kind of a fun environment, right? Like I can't lie, I can't deny that I've had a lightsaber fight at work. I can't deny that I've had Nerf gun wars at work. I can't deny that there's been kegs and like alcohol and parties up in Yin Yang. So it is all of that, but then it is work, right? I mean, we don't just party all the time. We actually have to do some work, but we know how to also party as much as we do.
All right, work hard, party harder. Is that it? Yeah. All right, I think that's the phrase. Oh man, so you've been a gamer, I'm assuming, pretty much your whole life. Is that correct?
Yep, started with the Atari.
That's similar to me. I started off with, it was the Atari, but do you remember, what is that thing called? A Commodore? Was it not the Commodore 64?
Commodore 64?
No, I messed up. It was Texas Instrument.
The Texas Instrument, before they made calculators.
Dude,
way back.
That thing was awesome. There was this game called Hunt the Wumpus. That was the coolest game ever. It was kind of like the precursor to like Minesweeper. It was so fun. But I don't know. I just wanted to see how far back you go back pretty far in the video games. That's cool. Being in the video game industry, like, as a job, did you ever have like something that you had to do or a direction you had to go where like kind of went against everything you believed in as a gamer, just like a conflict of interest? You have like the gamer in one hand, the employee in the other, good versus bad. Was there anything like that?
I wouldn't say anything like some moral dilemma, but I mean, as a gamer, when you're playing games, you don't really think about how it's made, or like any kind of like politics behind it,
Mm-hmm.
or any like the things that go into actually running a game, especially for a game that has live services like a MMO or like Racing Rivals, stuff like that. I grew up playing console kind of game like NES, the Atari, so there's no need to do anything customer service wise because what are they
Mm-hmm.
gonna do, right? Um, so as a game master, I mean, on one hand, I'm like, well, I could easily do whatever you say, like, hey, give me all this money or give me this mount or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the push a button, right?
Which is
No skin
crazy.
off my back. Same with Racing Rivals. I could give you every single car in the game and every single car that you've never seen that's made, right? But
Well, that's
on the one hand,
when we were in California. I saw that firsthand, and it blew my mind because you had your laptop out and you were just kind of like, and I was like, "What? That's crazy."
right, and at the same time, they got to worry about especially with like a game with World of Warcraft, things that you do in game and acquire have value, right?
Mm-hmm.
It might not be monetary, but it's like, if you're in a 40-man raid in WoW and like you get this epic item that no one else has, or like very few people. If I'm giving that out left and right for anyone who asks for it,
Mm-hmm.
to values that item, right? And all the work you put in to get it legitimately all of a sudden becomes less,
So
right? So it's the same thing with the race.
you couldn't give me the orange tiger mount from Zulgrub.
I technically could have. I could give out. I had everything. I could give you I can give you like god powers,
Oh man.
but it's all in the balance of the enjoyment of the players as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
right? I can give everyone a QR car in Rivals, but then that car would lose its sentiment value, right? To
Right.
you
I
guys.
mean, this is weird. I mean, I don't know if I want to take the conversation to this point yet, but people were just talking about the value, and I mean, sentimental value. You can't measure it. You can't put a price on it. Putting that aside, people always talk about the value, price, and that really irritates me because I don't play the game for money. I don't play the game to make money. I don't play the game to, back in the day, you could buy a video game $50 and that game would give you thousands and thousands of hours of gameplay. It's just an utter enjoyment. And now obviously the games aren't like that. They're evolving, they're changing, Video games companies have found a way to maximize their profits, and one of them is, pay to play type manner. And but people take that way too far. I think they take it as a way to actually fill their pockets, and it's like it's just not worth it in my opinion. Like for the couple of $100 you make here or there, like I could go and do a few hours overtime at work, and there it is. Instead of spending hours upon hours playing, trying to make money in the game, not actually playing the game and enjoying it. And the market is something that really bothers me because I feel that about it. It's just, it shouldn't have a monetary value, but at the same time, Rivals has thrived because of the black market, hasn't it?
I would say interest in it has made it thrive longer than
Okay.
a lot of mobile games do.
Okay.
Right? I mean, like there's a life beyond just the core game, right? The whole black market, the community that's grown up around it, has kept it alive, basically. It's the same thing with World of Warcraft. It's a game that's been around for over a decade, right? And it's still going strong, and it's built upon the community around it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there are, with any kind of game that has any kind of way of obtaining items and trading or whatever, there's going to be some kind of black market.
Absolutely.
Right. And then it's going to be one of those things I think games in the future will have to adapt to and see about doing some kind of legit way of doing things, but then it adds another problem, which is what like Rivals has had, right? There's a reason why we don't have a trading lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll affect the economy, it'll affect the way we release cars, it'll affect licenses. It's really a mess, right? But it's like one of those things in the future, WoW's done it where they built an auction house, Diablo's done it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be something that is going to be there, You know, as games evolve, people will use whatever advantage they can take to make money if possible. Right? There will always be those kind of people. It's not going to be everybody, but there will be those people.
Now, as far as a trading or an auction, like a trading lot or an auction house in Rivals, how do you think that would have affected the game? Do you think that would have been positive, negative as a whole, or would it just... I try to run that scenario through my head, and I can't tell if it would...
Nitto.
Yeah, I've heard that. I'm not too familiar with Nitto. I've heard the stories, though.
Right. I mean, like, the trading lot for Nitto was pretty much its basic downfall. There were so many things that were manipulated through that system that it just became too hard for our developers to keep up with all the cheating, all the hacks, all the weirdness. That's one part of it. For Rivals, even if we get that to where no one can change a car before trading or whatever, it adds that, okay, so who determines the value of a car, you know? And that now becomes part of the economy, that we had to think about that. So that'll start affecting what we give out for prizes, you know, like what you win in a race, how much RRC and how much that becomes worth.
It's interesting.
Right? And that's one of the things it gets kind of hard, because then you have your cars, right? What, you know, like, do we change the way we give out cars if there's going to be traded between people, right? If we have a turf war, and you know the 20 cars per team that win, whatever, can be traded, you know, what does that really mean for the value of that car? And do we have to think about what we release, you know, knowing that?
Yeah. Wow. So let me ask you this question. Michael Tucker in live chat, he had a question. What is the rarest car in game on Racer Rivals, and what is it worth?
The rarest car, it had to be the QR car, because only the player council has that car. And as for worth, that number is determined by however much someone wants to spend on that car.
Right. And I've always said, people have asked me, oh, what's the value of this car? How much is it worth? I said, it's only worth what somebody's willing to pay you for it. I mean, that's right. What it comes down to. I don't think there's a formula. But really, you think the QR, I mean, aren't there other cars that are like one of one that are a little bit more rare? Or is that just more because it's QR is most sought after? Is James here?
Yeah, what's up? Sorry,
he's playing Diablo.
No, I was saying goodnight to my kid there. Sorry.
Oh, all right. No, we were just wondering.
I heard you guys talking about the QR.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I've turned down $3,000 for it.
Yeah.
You can't give, like you said, you can't put a price tag on a gift. And,
that's right.
I consider Rich a friend over the years in this game. He gave it to me, and I wasn't going to give it up.
Yep. Now,
maybe one of the trucks might be.
Okay.
There's the F-150 Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah,
right.
Dustin Duffy just says that, yeah.
Yeah, it was, I guess, well, the origin, Brian actually released it on a YouTube video the other day, the origin of the truck. It came about from a stolen admin account.
Of course.
And a couple copies got leaked out off of this account that was stolen by a couple guys back when we had the Facebook security issues. And then they got cloned, and, you know, Long Beach crew at Glued did their best. They got rid of a lot of the copies of the truck, but there are still, I believe, a handful of them around right now.
Wow.
There you go.
So, okay.
But it was unreleased.
Right. So, legit car, the QR car. Not so legit, the Cinco de Mayo truck.
And I guess it's only worth, like we said, it's only worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it. So I guess that's where you put the value at. So James, are you
a pretty rare car too, Joe?
The dragster?
The dragster, the gold one from Showdown.
I love that thing. That's like one of my favorite cars ever in the game. And I know it's a D-class car and it's slow and it doesn't, you know, it's like gotta be I think the Datsun's faster than that. Datsun's definitely easier to race.
It's very possible.
But that's one of my
favorite car.
That's one of my favorite cars in the game. I love that thing. Ever since the dragster came out for that, I think it was the very first April Fool's event. That was just like
yes,
favorite car. James, casual player. Are you a casual player or a lunatic? Like, James, you
In
have
terms of racing rivals?
how much have you like? You don't have to like give an amount out there, but I know you've spent. You are a big spender when it comes to games. Crazy amount. Like, do you think you
Down
get?
payment on a house, no problem.
Do you think you get the? You must get the enjoyment out of the game that you spend in. You put in, or you wouldn't spend the money, right?
Yeah, the game's fun. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Turf Wars to me lost its value a long time ago. I haven't competitively played Turf Wars since the first generation Serby Sport.
No,
But with the upcoming points change, I might get back into it now because they're gonna stop a lot of problems with this.
I hope so. I really do. When's that? Is that hasn't gone live yet, has it?
I haven't heard anything from Daniel yet, so I don't think so.
I just
Not that I
totally.
know.
I've been spacing out, and I should be on Facebook catching up, but man, has it just been busy going on vacation and just trying to get all sorts of everything all set. Okay, James, here's a question for you. I put a post on a couple of Facebook groups and had some people send me some questions. Here's one that I got asked, and I figured, I don't know, I'll ask you, and it's kind of funny because I remember this going on way, way back in the day. I remember a conversation, Facebook post, something. So let me ask you now: are you and Ariana Quick the same person?
No. I will say this: I am as much the same person as Ariana the Quick as I am with the other guy on the stream right now.
With the other what?
The other guy on the stream right now.
Which is one of my favorite theories that we were the same person for the longest time.
You were talking about when at the Players Council, how funny it would be if you guys both wore like the same shirt or something, or what was that? It was like one was like I'm James and I'm not James. I don't know. It's just I just remember you were talking about messing with some people. And I thought, man, that was so funny.
Well, the first time I went down there, we had just gotten into the room. We were in the waiting room where they had the video games on the first Players Council.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't been there for 10 minutes. And somebody started calling me out on Facebook saying, you're Ryyst. And I was like, no, he's actually right here. And I took a picture.
Yeah.
So,
I don't even know where that started.
Probably on call-outs or something. Drama House,
yeah,
one
probably.
of those. Who knows? All right, Rich. Here's a question for you, and I already know the answer. Actually, James and I were talking about this earlier. I just saw it in chat the other day, and I thought it was a really funny topic from a game perspective. But the question, actually, I think it was the accusation, basically, is you guys are in cahoots with hackers and make money off of cheats. Somebody.
Oh my God.
I thought that was hilarious.
It's such a weird thing to be accused of, just from a business standpoint.
Isn't
I mean,
it?
if you just think about it, if you want to make most money from your players, you don't want to piss them off. And what's the first way to piss them off is we're like, we welcome hacks, we welcome cheaters. Rivals would not have lasted this long if we were like, we're gonna make money off cheats and hacks. I can tell you firsthand how much of a pain cheating was for Rivals and the crew there. I mean, we spent a long time just fighting every single thing that came out. It prevented a lot of other features from being worked on because it's like, what's happening now? They're doing this and this and this. I'm like, and it's, as I don't know what people think about how big the studio was. I mean, it's a handful of people battling these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not just a waste of, it's not like it doesn't make sense business-wise, but then it's also a waste monetarily because then it's work hours spent on fighting these things rather than actually making the game. And no one at work wants to just fight hackers. They actually want to make stuff for the game and bring enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
That is the number one thing we want to do. And yes, we do make money because lights, cost money, rent costs money, so we do have to make money, but
free.
It's not like right. So it's like we want to bring enjoyment, and we think basically happier players mean you're willing to more spend if you're a happy player. It's like, hey, this game's awesome. I'll spend
Absolutely.
$1 or $2 here and there.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
I'm a gamer. I love games, and if I enjoy a game, I got to tell you, I don't hesitate spending money on it because it's less money than I would be spending if I was out getting in trouble at the bar or doing whatever. I'm playing a game, I'm having fun at home, being safe, and if I'm getting enjoyment out of it, I don't think twice.
Yeah, it's $1 here, it's $1 there. I spend money on a stupid Star Wars card game that it's not even a game. You're just collecting like digital cards. And I'm like, sure, I'll buy something. It's
Yeah.
$1, whatever.
Well, that kind of gets me into my next set of questions here. We'll get back to Rivals in just a few minutes, but what games do you guys play? I know, James, you're playing Diablo 3 right now, but what other games are you guys playing now? Like, what catches your attention these days?
I just finished the Mass Effect Andromeda game. Like the games I like playing are like very story-driven games. It's not like it goes back to the whole video games or movies, Rich. Which one do you like? I kind of like video games that are kind of like, choose your own adventure movie kind of things. The Uncharted series, Mass Effect series. I just reloaded Skyrim onto my PC and I'm playing that again. So it's like, I like those actiony, adventure-y kind of things where I don't have to think too much. And almost like I'm enjoying a super long movie where I can kind of control what's going on.
And what's that Mass Effect you were saying? Choose your own destiny. Is that like back when I was a kid? There was a book. It was like choose your own adventure. Was that it? Where it's like you come down and you can say I can choose A or B, and A takes me a whole different storyline than B.
I mean, it's not like
page 242. Go to page 122.
Yes, that's exactly it.
You're dead. The end. It's not like that. I mean, it's a similar concept, right? Like I love those books as a kid too because it's like I had some kind of the part of me was able to control the story. That's what the kind of games I like to play. I was like, there's an overall story, there are a cast of characters, and I have input on what happens to them. Most games obviously will have an ending, right? But if journey getting there is what gets me. So Mass Effect, there's a lot of complaints about some of the endings or whatever, but like the journey to get to those endings is what made me enjoy those games.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, those kind of things.
I like the Assassin's Creed series, but it seems like Assassin's Creed, every sequel, it just seemed like it was the same as the previous. I mean, little different storyline, but it was the same. It followed the same basic pattern, gameplay-wise.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be said about a lot of games. Some things improve, but like I said, for me, it's not really about that part of it. It's, okay, what is happening to these characters? And that's why Mass Effect, to me, was something I love, because for the first 3 games, you're kind of following these same set of characters.
Right.
Right? And you actually get to know them, like you would get to know a movie character. And at the end, you're kind of sad, and you're like, oh, their adventure is over. And that's where we get to replay value. I played those first 3 Mass Effect games over and over because I just enjoy that story and I enjoy their characters. So that's what kind of drives what I play.
Personally, James, why don't you go? What do you play? I know you're playing Diablo 3. You're playing a few other games that I know of. What are you really captivated by these days?
I'm a big Blizzard fan. Diablo 3. I don't play World of Warcraft anymore, but Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch.
Yeah.
I play Battlefield series. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands is nice. I love racing games too. PC gamer for life. I mean, the mobile games are fun, but
You know what's weird is Racing Rivals is actually the very first, and it's probably for many people, the very first mobile game that I ever got my hands on. I've always been a PC or a console. Like I played World of Warcraft religiously for years. That's probably the game that I've racked up the most hours in. And then I started playing Call of Duty series on the PlayStations, and then coworker told me about racing rivals, and I thought, no way, I'm not even interested. Like, what's a mobile game? Like, I was so snobby. I was like, no way, it's PC or a console. And he kept telling me about like Pink Slip, this, it's so fun. So finally I gave in. I was like, it's fine, I'll just play it. I'll download it on my iPad. And obviously 4 years later, here I am, still hooked. But
sorry, I just see a comment in the chat here. Somebody said RR is greedy. Well, you guys need to play other games before you decide that.
Oh, I had a good, Rich, I had a very good comment. Somebody, I forgot to write it down, so I'm going to have to, okay. There were questions people had, and a lot of them were not friendly, we'll put it that way, very vulgar and crude. So I figured if I reworded it, so you guys understood what the question or the comment was, we could get a good laugh at it, but still understand. But one of them was for Rich was the question, and I'm going to try to think because I forgot to write it down. But it was basically, it was really crude, and I had to twist the words and change it. But it was basically somebody wanted to know, what did glue do with your golden throne that you thrust your rumpus upon?
What the?
Because I remember, like, back in the day, everybody, Glue's greedy, they sit on golden thrones and this and that, and I just thought that comment was hilarious. I saw that and go, man, what people are still going on about Glue being greedy. I'm telling you, man, you gotta pay the bills. Like, the game doesn't run for free. You got employees to pay, insurance, you name it. I could go on and on.
The funny thing about that, it's like, it's a business. Yes, I mean, it's a free game. Technically, it's a free game. You can play this game and not spend a dime.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of the first player consoles, it was either Mike or George. One of them didn't spend anything.
George.
It was George. And they were fine. You know, it takes time. It takes a little bit more patience. It takes longer to get to where you want to go. But, you know, essentially this is a free game. So we're giving it for free, right? Off the bat. Yes, there's stuff you can buy, but you're not forced to buy.
Not at all.
You can play this game perpetually forever as long as you have a car. We don't even have an energy system, where a lot of games do. Like, if you want to start racing, you can race until your energy's gone, then you got to wait or buy fuel. You don't have to do that here. If you have 100 cars, you have 100 cars. You can race until all their engines are damaged or whatever, and that can be a very long time. At the same time, it's like, do you go to McDonald's? Do you go to the grocery store? And do they give you all their stuff for free? Like, if I'm going to go to Dairy Queen, I'm going to get a Frosty for, like, nothing because I want it for free. And if you're like, no, it's like $3, dude. They're like, you're so greedy. How can you do this? Just give it to me for free.
Boy, I tell you, I have a friend who...
It's ironic because then you're the one who wants stuff for free. Who's the greedy one?
Well, that's it. I have a friend who plays Rivals, and I don't know if it was through Rivals or another game, but you know how you can watch videos and you see previews of other games. There was a game, and they downloaded, maybe it was for the offer wall, I don't know, but they downloaded this other game, and they had to maybe get to level 10 or something. And they couldn't believe how expensive it was. Like, people say Glue is greedy, or CIE was greedy, or Carbonated is greedy, but he was telling me how this game, and I don't know the name of it. It's one of these ones where we've seen them. It's like a dating game where, like, you can, you have a choice. You know, it's like there's a lady hiding under the table, and she's like, my husband's cheating. Do I confront him here, or do I hide, or whatever? You know, you've seen these before. There's like a dating, do I jump in the pool and take my shirt off, whatever, you know. But this game, he said, was absolutely...
Don't lie, you have that game.
Hey, when I say it was a friend, I didn't... Hey, you guys, I haven't been playing Rivals a lot lately because of this game, but don't tell anybody. No. But he said he couldn't believe how expensive that game was compared to, like, he's like, Rivals is a drop in the bucket compared to what these games charge. And there's like, I mean, I guess there's people that play them or they wouldn't be around. But man, he's like, if you think this is bad, if you think this is expensive, try playing some of these other games. They're outrageous. So,
Well, take Asphalt Street Storm, for instance. Go try and play that and not spend anything. Good luck.
The thing I didn't like about that is like it really, you didn't play it for very long before they were asking you, basically guiding you to sink money, and you had to buy a new car. And it got to the point where it's like, you got to buy gems or a crate. You know, and it was just like, it's like, whoa, give me a little bit more here. You got to get me hooked. You got to get my, get my palate wet here. I need something to get me addicted to this game before you say, hey, we need you to buy this or you need to sink this money in. It was too much too soon, in my opinion. But, I mean, that's just my opinion. And, yo, Pigpen, can you help me with cars? Hey.
The movie?
No.
Can't wait to see number 3.
I've never seen any of them.
What? At least Cars.
Dude,
you can skip 2.
I'm going to tell you something, and you guys are going to just be like, what the hell is wrong with you? But I haven't seen a movie in the theater since the first Ted came out, whatever year that was.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm cheap.
I'm
totally cheap.
Put down Racing Rivals for a little bit. You'll still be there.
I can't
watch.
Man.
Not even Star Wars? You haven't watched any of them?
Not in the movie theater, no.
You're breaking my heart, dude.
I gotta.
You have a freaking speeder on your shelf behind you with Luke Skywalker.
Well, yeah, I love Star Wars, but I gotta catch up on. I've been a little bit behind lately. Don't judge. This is a judgment-free zone, man. Oh man, so let's see. Video games. What's next on the agenda for you? Like, you enjoying? What do you do in your time off that's not video game or movie related? You say you play music. Is that?
Yeah. I mean, technically, I'm also an aspiring filmmaker and a musician. Yep. So I mean, I had to. Yes, I am making films. Mm-hmm. I'm working on 2 short films right now. All photography is done. I'm just in the editing phase, and then I have a whole bunch planned out for the year. Also, music-wise, I write. I try to compose for my own films. Although I do have a lot of friends who are also creative. So for some of these, I have so many I want to do that I don't have time to do everything. So
yeah,
I'm not composing at the moment, but I do have like a music album concept thing I want to achieve at some point. So besides playing video games and watching movies, I actually like to create, and I'm not like a good visual artist, like pen and paper, mm-hmm. but I'm trying I'm trying to do filmmaking, and it's basically just me and my friends learning as we go. Like I buy a piece of equipment and like, this is cool, let's try it, and we make a story around it.
Nice. Yeah, I saw a preview of like there was a fight scene, I think, the other day, maybe last week.
Yeah, I have 2 coming out. One I actually filmed in the glue office one day, almost a year. I gave a preview. There's some lightsabers in it because, of course, there's lightsabers in it. But and then the other one is shorter, but it does involve a lot of action-y running kind of thing. Hopefully, that one will be out soon. And then the other one is. Let's just say I've learned that visual effects guys really work hard, because visual effects is a lot of work.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
And that first one's gonna take me a while because I'm doing all the visual effects for it.
I was gonna say, I remember you were talking about it's whatever 40 seconds. There's 25 frames per second or whatever, and there's like whatever it was.
Yeah, it's 24 frames per second, and I have a 3-minute lightsaber fight scene.
So that's like 4,000 frames you have to edit. Crazy.
Pretty much. But I love it.
Rich, I got to ask you, there's a question I was told to ask, and I don't know. I hope I don't screw it up. But during your career so far, Is there anything that tops a grown man crying and complaining about the color of a dragon? I don't know what that means.
As for entertainment-wise for myself, I mean, that was one of the things where I'm in my head going like, all right, this is weird. This is where I realized my job was unique, and it's almost sometimes I can't explain it. It's like, yes, today I listened to some dude complain because a dragon changed colors. Those are fun. But satisfaction-wise, I would say the coolest, funniest thing that I was ever involved with, which involves a serious matter. So, for anyone's listening, if, customer service-wise and like games that have like chat and whatever, you do have to be careful about what you say. At Blizzard, we had a very serious, policy about anyone who threatened suicide.
Ooh.
On one, it's very serious, and I've actually helped save a couple lives because we intervened, right? But at the same time, there are people who like to use that to try to get their way.
Sure.
And one dude in Australia was threatening to commit suicide if we didn't do whatever it was he wanted us to do. And I kept saying pretty much, we do take this seriously. Are you in danger of harming yourself? And he pretty much said, yeah, so give me whatever it is I wanted. Little do you know that on the background of that, we do have to call the cops. We do. If once you say you were in danger of harming yourself, we have to take action. Wow. And so behind the scenes, we are contacting the police. So I'm talking with him. I'm chatting with him online, and he's still going off about whatever he's going off about. And then at one point, he's like, hold on, there's someone at the door. And in my mind, I know exactly who's at the door. It's the cops.
Wow.
And in Australia, threatening suicide is a misdemeanor.
Are you kidding me?
They found, and cliche-wise, they found that dude in his mother's garage playing World of Warcraft.
Was he peeing in a bucket?
I'm sure he was. According to, because we do a follow-up, right, just to see what happened. And I think they did mention that he started crying.
Wow. So the South Park guys hit it pretty close to the truth.
Actually, yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Like it's one of those things where I'm just like, don't mess around with that kind of stuff. And to me, it was like, and you got what you deserved.
Wow, that's crazy. So, real quick, guys, just want to let you know who I'm talking with. You guys just joined in. Shame on you. You should have put your notifications on and joined from the very beginning. But right now, I'm chatting with James. This is my last pair of Yellow Jackets Caricato. And RR, the man with the banhammer, Ryyst. This is our former community manager. Rich, I just want to thank you very much for taking time to join us and chat. And you as well, James. Although I think he's playing World of Warcraft over there because he's like real quiet. He's like disappeared or something.
Play that game.
So, anytime, dude, anytime.
All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. You guys have definitely...
That was quick.
Oh, hey, we don't have to go. We don't have to go. I just didn't want to press you guys. Well, if you guys want to talk, let's, what do you guys think of the state of, this is a loaded question, state of racing rivals right now? Where do you think it's going? Where do you think it's headed, really?
James?
Chirps. Crickets.
Well, you know what? So the thing that everybody fails to realize with this game, you hear a lot of people, and I've been reading the chat all night, even though I'm playing this game over here. I have another monitor. I can see the chat. Everybody's going on about racing rivals. Well, no. You have to realize that the game is getting old. So the people that have been playing it for 4 years could start to lose interest. It's only human instinct to start to lose interest in things we've been doing for such a long time. That's why the most important part of the game is bringing on new players. And I think that's what their biggest concern is right now, is how to bring in and keep the new players in the game.
Because I'll tell you, we we chew them up and spit them out faster than they can attract them, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting where they're going with it. They got my support. I don't want to take it away from any of them. I mean, they work like slaves to try and get everything up to date.
Oh, absolutely.
In time.
I mean,
so
when I was out there,
they are definitely a hardworking crew over there.
I mean, when I was out there in, what was that, April? I was out there and we had the player summit and we all were doing our play at summit things, chatting and doing this and that. But while we were doing that, there were people still doing their job. They were multitasking, us job. And then after the summit was over for the evening, they went right back to work through, the better part of the evening to fix a problem, to try to work something out. And then once they figured it out, once they worked it out, they went home, got a few hours of sleep, and then they were back for the summit for us, I mean, definitely hard workers. I mean, they had their nose in the books the whole time, really.
Right. As for me, I do have, obviously, I have inside information of what they're kind of planning and what they're doing. I would say they definitely want to make this game awesome for both, old players and, as James was saying, we do need some new players, right? That's how to keep this game going. All the people who's been playing, you can take anything for 4 years and be like, all right, I'm kind of done. When you think about that, that's a whole high school career,
dude.
Right?
Nowadays, people can't even, 5-10 minutes and they lose interest in something. But so to have a game 4 years when it's not meant to last maybe a year is an amazing feat, really.
When Rivals came out, the average lifespan of a game was a couple months, and that's all we thought would happen. It's all right, we'll have a game awesome for a couple months, work on something else, but then it just kept going. And when we introduced Turf Wars, boom, shot up. Then we introduced it on Android, and then it just blew up even more. And to this day, I mean, say what you will about numbers and whatever. I mean, it still has an audience. It still has players, and the people who are working on it right now are. What time is it? I
mean, look at people I know.
They are still there. They're
still
there working on that game.
Yeah, and I think I still play, and I know many people. We still play every single day. There's not a day goes by that I'm not logged on this account, that account, 5, 6, 7 times an afternoon into the evening, depending on what turf event is. I don't really turf too much anymore, but if there's an event that I really like, heck, man, I'll put aside. I won't go see the new Star Wars movie, but I'll sit down and play turf. True story. So, but I don't know. I know they're really trying to bring new players to it, and I really think that's a number one.
I wish them all the luck because even though I left, I mean, a big chunk of my career has been spent with you guys, all the players, the good and the bad. Yes, I've been called every name in the book,
I'm sure.
But I've also started talking to a lot of you guys, and it's been fun. That's what the funnest part for me was getting to know the community.
James, let me ask.
At some point,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
At some point, I had to graduate and let you guys, be shepherded by someone else, and I try to find a new flock. But you guys will always have, a place in my heart.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Gonna wipe a tear from my eye, man. Damn.
We have as much of a place in your heart as Shin does when he drank so much the first time we were down there.
Oh, I heard the stories.
One drink, Shin. One drink. That's all you're supposed to have. That turned into 6.
Oh,
wow.
And the next day was fun.
Didn't he drink a lot too? I guess it would have been his second Players Council.
Oh yeah.
He was asleep on I from the first one, I knew what was going to happen, so that's why I scheduled his flight to be the last.
I would have.
I knew he was going to pass out. He passed out on the couch again.
I would have scheduled it to be the first one just to get some laughs.
My God, he almost did not make that first time. That's his first flight.
Oh man! So I got a question, James. Rivals related. Turf. My buddy Nick. He's got an idea. Let me ask you. Let me toss this out. Since right now people are complaining about the market and the value of cars dropping, and it's basically right now it's supply and demand. You know, there's a lot of people double claiming. There's a lot, you know, whatever, and these runs a lot of these top teams are having trouble filling all the slots each week.
Yep.
Let me toss this idea and hear your thoughts on it. What would you think the ultimate results would be? I guess if you say you cut down your team, you cut down instead of a top 100, it's say top 25, and you condense them all. What would you think the effects of that would be? Anything positive? Anything negative?
I believe having the top 100 as a prize structure is good.
Mm-hmm.
You want to reward more players. Again, I mean, you know what? People play this game, and it just seems that the community that we've built in Facebook, they think that they're the only players in the game. Unfortunately, they are still a very small part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, for the ones that are looking at it as a value point for cars, if you reduce the amount of cars given out, the value could go up because you're taking away the amount of them in the game. But you also, like I said before, you want to keep the interest of the other players that aren't involved or as involved as it, you know, like the people that have been playing that are on Facebook all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these kids on Facebook, let's face it, we'll be honest, most of them want money out of the car. They're not turfing to keep the car.
No.
They turf so they can sell.
I can't sell anything, man. I'm a collector. I'm a hoarder, I guess. I still have all my Scion TCs from when I first started playing on account.
Yeah, I mean, we can't, you know, there's certain details that nobody, at least none of us, are at liberty to share, but, you know, they're working on the prize structure. And that's the most that I think we can possibly say without going too far into it.
Okay.
There are changes coming.
All right. So we don't know when, but there's changes coming to turf points, obviously. We've seen the posts. Daniel's made some posts saying they're coming, and he had some Twitch live streams talking about it. I think he's put it on the Facebook group, so we know they're coming. So I'm hoping to see those soon. I'd like to see what kind of results those bring, because I'll tell you, I know it sounds stupid, but people self-crushing really kills the spirit of the game, in my opinion. I know it's there, it's in the game, and, you know, as long as it's in the game and you can, I don't want to say exploit it, but in a way it is exploitation. I do believe it just kills the spirit of the game and it sours the water, makes a lot of people not want to turf because they know no matter what they do, they're not going to win. And I know that's taken a toll. So can't wait for the points. You're saying maybe some other changes. I hope they find a way to really attract and keep new players. That's my biggest thing. All the other stuff, yeah, it's important. We need to get it, or not we, I don't do anything, but I'm just saying it's important to get it in line and go. But I think just getting new players is a really big deal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, I worked at a horrible company years and years ago called Rent-A-Center, and but one thing I'll give them, they were despicable company. But the one thing I will give them is they had a solid sales plan, and some of it basically included like you need new accounts. I mean, they said you had a sales plan, what you were going to get today, what you're going to get, you know, what later on today, and all this. But the biggest thing was, what do you have lined up for tomorrow? What new accounts do you have tomorrow? Because if you always have accounts, you have new players lined up for tomorrow, then the next day is always going to be there. It's always going to be a positive thing. As long as you keep that cycle going, next people, new players, it's a good thing. It keeps life in the game. So that's the good thing I learned about that company. But other than that, horrible company. You guys know Rent-A-Center? I'd love to hear your stories.
I mean, I never dealt with them, but I know, I've heard of them.
Anyways, I could go on and on. So, all
I see
right.
some guys talking in regards to the new point system.
What are they saying?
Well, Dr. Daddy YouTube, I guess. I mean, he's a pretty popular guy on YouTube as well.
Yeah, Dr. Daddy.
He made a comment here saying if turf points really go down bad, this game will die. It's true, but your turf points are not going to go down. That's
I mean, like,
the best.
so obviously they're going to do some changes, right? And we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, obviously we have best interests, or I should say they, best interests at heart. So whatever does happen, I would say like don't like the first week don't doom and gloom. If it doesn't work out the way everyone hoped, they will try again. They'll
Right.
keep trying.
It's not carved
Like,
in stone.
Right. I mean, everyone kind of agrees that self-crushing is killing that thing. So obviously something needs to be done. And here they are trying something.
Yeah.
Right. Will it work? We don't know. We have hopes, obviously, but it really comes down to what happens during a live turf with live players and how that actually works out. It might take even just getting used to, right? It might give them, like I would say, give them a couple weeks before you pass judgment on whether or not, oh my God, this sucks. Let them try to work out the kinks because it is a new thing, right?
Well, that's the thing, because self-crush, we all agree self-crushing needs to be fixed. So we can either sit here and not make any changes, do the same thing and make the same gripes and moans about self-crushing, or they can do something, which they are. It may not work. It may work. Who knows, man? But as long as you're trying something new, because you keep doing the same thing, you get the same results. So try something new, you might get different results.
Whatever happens, they'll learn from whatever worked. And if part of it doesn't work, okay, they'll go back to the drawing board. Like, well, this stuff works. What can we do to tweak this little part that will make that also jive with the rest of it?
Right, because let's be honest, us as gamers as a whole, we like to try to take the system and break it. That's what we do. We like to take the system, find its weak point, and break it. So,
right, and there's that too. It's like then there'll be people who be like, well, what if I try this and this and this, and basically, find some kind of exploit. And that's always going to be the case. Someone's always going to try to exploit whatever. And it's like, there's no way for, a small studio like Carbonator or even Glue to, foresee any of that and everything. That's the reason why hackers exist today. If there was an end-all be-all solution, then they wouldn't exist. No, they get defeated, they come back and try something different. That's the nature of the thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all the people who are like, you guys got to get rid of hackers, like, that's a global problem. It's not just a Racing Rivals problem. Banks have that same thing. Like PlayStation gets hacked every other year.
Big time.
And that's Sony.
Yeah. Target. Look at all the credit cards Target got hacked for. I mean, you name it. Every company has trouble with hackers. So, but I mean, they could always
it's always going to be there.
Yeah, they take a system, they implement it, we try it out, and hey, maybe 3/4 of it is a really good idea and it works really well, but there's just this one aspect that needs to be tweaked. So you take that and you tweak it, and now you kind of refine it. And each time, eventually it takes time, trial and error, you'll find a system that really works, and it may just be what you're looking for that's much better than what we have now, and it solves our problems.
Just give them some time. It takes time to, it's not going to be something. If something goes wrong the first week, doesn't mean it's wrong. They need, data. They need, a couple turfs to go and see what's the trend, what's going on. And then they need time to figure out whatever, and then they need time to actually implement whatever solution they have. So it's not like there is no fix button. If there was, I guarantee you we would all use it. All these things takes time, man.
Yeah.
Here's a comment here that Rich, you would just eat this comment up.
Okay.
Keep pinks in RR. Just take it out of turf wars and raise the points. How many problems are there?
First of all, taking pinks out of turf war problem number one. I mean, this game is a drag race game. Pinking is like so ingrained in that culture that taking it out would mean like what's turf war about? You know what I mean?
Pinking is what attracted me to the game. Like, that's why
Exactly.
I play. That is like the number one sole reason I play. If it wasn't in Rivals, I would have never, because it doesn't get you, you don't have, when you're racing for pinks, you have that sense of like, you have something of value, something on the line that took you a long time of, investment into it, time and energy. And you have that a little bit of attachment to it. And when you go up for pinks against somebody, your heart's pumping, your adrenaline's just shooting through through your system, and that's what I love. And you take that out of the equation, and I might as well be playing Mario Kart,
Yeah, and then you take the stakes out.
Yeah.
There's a reason why this game is different from your Gran Turismos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a possibility that you're going to lose something you put time and effort in.
Oh, there's an
And
inevitable.
then there's a possibility of taking something that someone else put time and effort in, and you're like, yes.
Yep. That's exactly why I play the game. So, guys, if you're just now joining in, I am live streaming with James. This is my last pair of yellow jackets, Caricato, and RR, the man with the band hammer, Ryyst, our former community manager. All right. I'm having a blast here, guys. I could probably sit here and chat all night long. So, if you guys have something else to do, just kind of let me know. But James, I know me and James get together and like we'll sit there.
I can talk for a long time.
We do. I get out of work and phone rings, I look and it's James. I'm like, oh, well, I'm not doing anything from 2 to 7 today, that's for sure.
That's right. You know what, we're going back to the points.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I just said A, by the way.
A?
That is Canada. It's going back to the turf point changes that are coming. One of the key things everybody needs to realize is Carbonated did something different and with change. So 6.3 currently has the point system. It's just not on.
Mm-hmm.
They've actually programmed it this time so that they can turn it on, and if it does fail by some fluke chance, they can actually shut it off and go back. So it's not something to be deterred by. I actually believe they've put a lot of thought into it. I mean, anybody that knows Daniel Powell, Prodigal Rip, he is a numbers guy.
True story.
Numbers.
Oh my God, yes.
Like, I thought I was a numbers guy. I love crunching numbers. I like stats. I like comparing this. Like when I play World of Warcraft, I compare the stats for like stamina, agility, strength, you name it, all of these stupid stats, and which gear is the best for this and that, and take everything. And then when I got to this game, same thing with parts, grip, horsepower, weight, all this stuff. And I pale in comparison to Daniel. He just...
I have spreadsheets for all, like someone like MMO stuff, like Warcraft and Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw what Daniel had, I was like, oh my God, what?
Yeah, he just takes it to another level.
I wouldn't even... That's not even another level, dude. It's another astral plane.
It's like
he is on.
Yeah, through the roof, another plane somewhere. He's like on another universe.
To the point where he's showing me that stuff, and I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but that's a lot of numbers, and that's a lot of...
Wow, it blows my mind. How do you, where do you come up with this stuff? Like, I have my chicken scratch here in my notepad. I'm like, oh, I found notepads from, must have been back, 2005 when I was playing World of Warcraft, and I don't even know what it was because there's so much chicken scratch and numbers and notes and this and that, and I'm sure it made sense at the time, but I kind of feel that's how I felt like when I look at Daniel's. Like, he's got this program, he's got these spreadsheets, he's got these machines, and he's got like helpers and all these things. Like he's got like a team of people working for him or something. I don't know how he finds time to do all this, but I'm just like, wow, man. Like, I thought I was...
He definitely has a very, very unique perspective on this game, and he can only benefit Carbonated in ways that we probably couldn't even think of.
Well, that's when I first heard that Daniel was, he took the job of community manager. I kind of sat there for a few, and I to be honest, I kind of questioned that. I went, how much? I mean, I know he has the Racing Rivals Collective Records page. I was like, but how much interaction does he really have with people? I started thinking about it and going, well, he does have interaction. He does have some skills with people. Okay, but then I started thinking about the number game that he has and what he's bringing to the table, and I really thought, wow, okay, so they definitely made the good choice bringing him on board, because here's a guy who absolutely, before any of this even happened, he was a gamer playing the game just like the rest of us, and he was completely engrossed in it 100%, just like us. He has a passion for this game, and to bring him on board, after I started thinking, I go, wow, that was a very smart move to bring him on board.
Yeah, like he is totally dedicated, and he does work very, very hard and very long hours for those guys. So like I said, they have the best interests at heart. They like, you can't deny that from Daniel. If you don't know any of the other guys, the players know Daniel, and he definitely is not going to let this game die if he can help it.
No, he gave up his life. There,
right? He picked up his whole life and family,
moved cross country,
Middle America, to California, which is not a cheap place to live. Had a chance to do something for this game and for all of you guys. So, like I said, the biggest thing is to give these guys a chance. These guys inherited something that, we all know, 6.0, it was almost the death knell of Racing Rivals. And here we are 6 months-ish later. They're still trying to, bring it back to its former glory,
I think they'll do it. I think they'll do it. I mean, you have an audience, you have a player base that's dying for this game. We love this game, and I really think good things are coming around the corner for it. It's just going to take some time to work out all the issues, to adapt. You can't be the same game you were 4 years ago. We know that. So you have to make changes, and it's trial and error. And once you find these changes, you find your path. There's a player base here that's just dying to get back into the game. And the moment they feel it's right, they're going to jump right back in and play. I strongly feel for that.
They're waiting for that opportune moment.
Yep. Just give them a chance, guys. It's like I said, they just inherited it, and then B, they're not as big as Glue was. So, and they're working with a handful, like even a smaller handful of people, with a lot of big plans. So, it's just going to take them time. As Colby said during the player summit, you can almost have everything you want. They just need time.
Yeah. All right, guys.
There's no restrictions for it.
While we're chatting here, I'm here with James. This is my last pair of Yellow Jackets Caricato, and RR, the man with the band hammer Ryyst. We're just chatting, but guys, if you have any questions for either James or Rich, now's your time to answer. These are comments or questions specifically for them. This may be your only chance you ever get to specifically interact with either of these two characters or myself for that matter. Ask us questions, go ahead. Now's your time. So we're going to chat, and I'm going to keep my eyes on the live chat here. So, all right, man, we have been live streaming for just over an hour now. And honestly, I feel like there's a million topics we could talk about. We could go into the economy again. We could go into the mechanics of the game, new cars, all sorts of stuff. I always thought that a new mode would be awesome. Rich, you remember World of Warcraft, how they had arena play?
Yeah.
I thought something like that would be awesome. You could have 2v2, me and James could pair up on a team, and we just go into the lobbies and we race people. It's a random queue or whatever. And then you take our points, you add them up, you divide them by 2, and that's our team points. And you put our points up against others at the end of the week. I always thought that would have been a really cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot of those things were never off the table. It's just, that's, like I know we brainstormed a lot about what other kind of things can we do with the simple mechanics of this game.
Yeah.
And how can we get teams more involved in just doing turf wars? And those are the kind of things that I'm sure, if they're given the chance, will come to this game. It's just, got to fix. They're still on the fixing 6.0 kind of thing, while slowly improving what's there. And then once they get to a point where, once they get to a point where the game is fine, as is, whatever, that's when, okay, what can we add to it? Right now they're still in kind of triage / fixing what needs to be fixing, changing what needs to be changing. Once that's kind of majority of that's done, then they can move on to what else can we add to this game. I mean, like the bots were a first step in that kind of direction. Right?
Yeah.
Just having these random encounters with Fast and Furious, drivers, was something that wasn't part of the game before, and it's something they're like, let's try this. It's still going through its phases. I know there's some issues with it, but it's something, right? It's something that's new been added, and it's something Glue hadn't done for a long time, is add something new. And straight off the bat, they're like, let's throw in bots and see how that works.
What's the weird thing is how the bots have been out for a while now, and to be honest, I have not even seen one single bot. Like, I think they're all in like lower lobbies. Is that correct?
They're in different ones. I can't remember specifically anymore.
Because I mainly race max cars, and I'm like in a 1682 or higher, 1681 or higher, and I've never, to this day, I've never even seen a bot. This is weird because everybody talks about him, but I've never seen him.
Coors Light.
He's back. There he is. He had to go get. Yeah, he's like, he said Coors Light. I saw it in there. Well, maybe he didn't say Coors Light, but I knew he was getting a Coors Light.
I think the majority of the bots are in the mid lobbies, where the rarest of the rare, so like Dom, will always be in your higher ones, but like in very, very specific ratings. Like I said, it's one of those things where the idea is there. They just have to, gather feedback on how it worked really, and again, they'll tweak it to where it becomes something that people like more, or they'll scrap it and try something new. Yeah. The point is that they tried something new.
I like it. I mean, like I said, I race Max, so I haven't seen a bot yet, but I do. I like the idea of new stuff. I got to figure out, maybe I need a lower lobby tune than I race, but I just love Max cars, man. John here in chat won that, and this is one that everybody's been asking for, and I don't even know if it's part of the game or if it's going to be a part of the game. I've heard rumors about it, but wants to know when there will be the Skyline R34 Race Edition. James, we've heard this for a long time now.
Yeah. You know what? No, nobody can give you an exact day. The idea is there.
Is it there, or is it rumors? Because I don't know if they're rumors or if it's actually any truth to it. That's the thing that's crazy. But I've heard it a million times. I think they'd be crazy not to add it.
Rich worked there for how long? I mean, as a community manager, ask him how many times he's seen people recommend that as the car. So it's not like the company doesn't know that the people want it.
Oh yeah. Right. I mean, I'm sure there must be reasons.
Reasons beyond my. It wasn't my wheelhouse. I can tell them all the cars people wanted. It's really up to the guys who handle licensing. And I keep saying, it's not as simple as we have Dodge, we have Nissan, we have. No, every single car has its own kind of unique license. And some cars have a little more restrictions than others, and it's basically those guys working through that and getting those approvals, and like the approval, like making a car is not as simple as one might think. There's a lot of people and a lot of time involved, from the lawyers, to the people who try to make the deals, the artists, and art, just the art
Content.
alone goes through approval process. Like, here's the car we made, goes to the manufacturer. Manufacturer has notes, goes back to the artist. They change something, give it back. The manufacturer might have notes again. So it's not like we can just, keep putting up cars week after week after week. It does take a little bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, I work in the industry where we do a lot of military contracts, and we'll have a design come in, we'll work on it, which could take a while just for us to work on it. The guys on Solid Edge, guys on AutoCAD, and then the actual physical build. And then the prototype will get shipped out to the company. We may not see it for another 2 years. They'll take it out in the field and test it for 2-3 years. And all of a sudden, one day, we go, hey, this thing's back here. I remember working on that 3-4 years ago. And then we're going to make some more changes to it. I mean, that takes, so we're talking, when it comes to video games, we got to have a little bit patience here. I mean, or it could be, at least it's not 3-4 years. That's for sure. So, but it does take time.
It's not Blizzard soon.
Oh man! So there was the ZR1 Race Edition.
Shout out to Brian.
I just saw Brian. Yeah. When he says, all I see is when they ban Indonesia. I'm not sure exactly what that is in reference to.
Wait, what? When are they going to ban Indonesia? Is that the question? I don't know if they can ban a whole country.
I don't think.
No, they're asking for the 150,000. RRC tournaments. When are they coming back? And Brian said when they ban Indonesia.
Oh, that's what it was in reference to. Okay. All right. I got you.
Stop exploiting.
You know what? That's the golden question. Everybody, hey, this came up tons of times today, Joe.
Yeah.
Why don't they reduce the price of RRC?
Oh.
And, you can try and explain to them that there is an economy in the game and a balance that you can't ruin. And these players don't understand.
I beat myself in the head. Like, there's that, and it kind of goes hand in hand. I see posts every single day, people going, well, we all need to get together and just sell our cars for more expensive prices. Going,
good luck with that.
That doesn't work. Like, in theory, it sounds great if you all band together and you all said, hey, this car is no longer $5, we're selling it for $15, great. But like, if you think about it in the real world, if all these stores got together and said, hey, can of Coke, we're not selling it for $1 now, we're selling it for $10. A, nobody would buy Coke. And B, somebody would slowly go behind someone else's back and start selling it for $8. And then someone else would find out $7. It would be back down to the market demand price, which is $1. It's just simple supply and demand. Like, I see it, and I see these people, they're like, oh, we should just get together and start selling them for $10, $15 a piece. And I just bang my head on my desk going, it just doesn't work that way, man. It just doesn't. It sounds great, but it doesn't.
It's a lot more complicated than, once you start changing the value of RRC, it changes the value of everything in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to go back to the drawing board and just figure all that out. So it's not just a simple, let's have the, for a $5 bundle, give you this much more. It's a little very, very complicated. It's so complicated that it's above my understanding of it. Like, right. I know, some people try to explain it to me. I'm just like, it's so complicated. That's what I'm getting.
Well, it's a well-oiled machine.
Why.
All these parts that interact, and you change one little aspect, and it has catastrophic effects all over the place that were unforeseen because everything interacts.
Right. That's the thing that happened with the infamous speed rating change.
Oh.
We fixed something that had no bearing really, and all of a sudden it affected something we did not foresee, and that was
this ripple effect.
Oh,
right.
Players revolted.
Oh crap! Yeah, and it wasn't on purpose. It was we fixed this little cog over here, which affected this big cog somewhere else in the machine. And that's how these things work. Software is very, very, very finicky.
So here, hey, we got a guy. He must have been reading my chat earlier on. So he made a comment that I do not believe thousands of people are buying $99 mills. Get out of here. Because I said this earlier on today, that part of the reason they're not changing it is because there are a vast majority of people that are not in our band of communities that know about this black market. They still spend $100 per million.
Yeah, you gotta understand, like the social community, is a very small percentage of the actual game players. They're like, how many games do you play, right? Are you part of that community? Like, I've played Mass Effect ever since it came out. I'm not part of any Mass Effect Facebook community. I'm not part of any of the forums because I'm like, I just enjoy the game. There's a lot of people who just enjoy the game and pay for whatever it is that is available to them. They're not sitting there going like, I wonder if there's a black market for these things. They're probably just like, cool. I'll just buy whatever. I have $100 that I can spend.
There's
I got
Brian.
a card from grandma.
Brian, I think it's in response to you saying there's a whole community out there or there's a whole base of players that aren't part of the community. Brian goes, I'll find them.
You will find these people.
Yeah.
Oh man. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. I got to go through chat, man. You guys are blowing it up.
Oh, I keep seeing the comments. You got a lot of guys are saying the Fast and the Furious crates or Fate and the Furious crates or whatever you want to call them are too expensive. Well,
what are they? 200
Are they
gems?
really expensive? 1,800 for the 9-pack. But in the reality of things, you got to think about that entire deal. Now, Rich, you don't work there anymore, so you could probably get into a little bit of detail of how long that went on for before it was even signed. But that cost a lot of money to land. It's not free.
So NBC Universal, it's not that they give us that stuff for free. Spoiler alert, they are a company. So it's not. It's like, that franchise makes money, but there's a reason why they're licensing this out to video games and stuff. They want to make more money. So it's not like we can just give out those stuff for free. It's almost like take Ferrari, right? For the longest time, people were like, give us Ferrari, give us Ferrari, give us Ferrari. And I'm like, just so you know, if we do get Ferrari,
it's gonna be expensive.
They are very expensive. We had it in Cartown. It was $100 for one Ferrari. And then we got Ferrari, and they were expensive. And people were like, that's too expensive. I'm like, well, it's Ferrari.
It's an expensive. Hey, now when that works, do you know, okay, if you land a deal with, say, Ferrari, is there one lump sum that they want, or is it per car in game they get, or does it vary from contract to contract?
I'm not really sure. As far as my understanding, it's part of it is also sales and whatever. So it's part of the business where I'm like, I don't really need to know.
Yeah,
I
always wondered that.
I'd assume it's different for different manufacturers. Maybe some of it's just one lump thing, or some of it's like, all right, for every car that you give or sell or whatever, we get a percentage, right? And that goes why it's hard for rivals to give out free cars, because they actually have to go and ask the manufacturer, hey, can we give these cars out for free? And just imagine how many manufacturers are like, sure, right? So it's not like, every time something happens, it's like, give us cars for free. It's like, we can't, because, it's not, we have to, some money has to be exchanged somewhere, or we need permission. And sometimes, the free cards we do give out is part of a promotion, and that helps whatever manufacturer. Like when we give out the Fords, there's a Ford promotion going on.
Right.
When BMW had a promotion, like you arranged to have a car given away, but then we also have a whole bunch of their other cars. So it's like a car to bring in interest, and that's why we gave it for free. But the random just give us a car, it's like it's really not that simple to do.
Yeah.
Riley Pennard is asking who this guest speaker is, Joe.
What? Who's asking? Well,
Riley.
Well, Riley.
Which one, me?
Well, let me
just in general. Here.
Let me update you. If you put notifications on, go to my channel, click the bell icon, so that way when I go live, you get a notification. You can join right away, and you know exactly who I'm talking to. But let me update you right now. I am talking with our former community manager, RR, the man with the band hammer, Ryyst. I love saying that. It sounds good, doesn't it? And then,
Not as good as it does saying my name.
James, this is my last pair of Yellow Jackets, Caricato. That sounds even better too. So I'm talking with two. I don't want to use the word legends because I don't like the word legends. But you guys are definitely a huge part of the Racing Rivals community. Rich, obviously.
Notice he's Charles, by the way. Legends. We're not the same person.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're not.
Hold on.
I'm not James.
Hold on. Wait, I was under the impression I was
am not
talking to the
Rich.
same person this whole time. Like
Yes.
dual personalities or something?
You both kind of have deep voices, but they're still different.
Huh.
There's a little bit of Canada in James.
Hey?
Eh?
Oh, man. Brian says each time you say James' name, there should be a cha-ching noise.
Wasn't that his thing?
Yeah,
Oh.
Brian, I thought that was you. At least that's what you told us when we went to Roscoe's.
Pigpen, how did this update affect the tuning and tunes? Because some of my tunes didn't work. We're talking, if you're talking, that was, how long ago did the one little cog wheel change adjustment affect the tunes? That was that a year ago?
About a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think
So-
last summer, yeah.
So, I mean, it hasn't happened since then. But a lot of the older videos on my channel, I should probably just delete them to kind of get rid of the confusion there, buddy. But, yeah, they're not going to work. Definitely not going to work. Some of them are outdated anyway. So even when they did work, they're probably not going to yield you much luck, many points in turf. So I would just steer clear of those. But as far as anything new, I don't think there hasn't been any turf tune changes, has there? I don't remember any.
No.
No. Okay. So,
When you smelt the mass cloud of smoke from everybody burning their tune books, that's when all those videos went down the drain.
Oh, dude, the community revolted. I would not want to be community manager at that point. You must have dealt with a million pissed off little brats, including me. I'm not saying everybody. I'm including me as well.
Right. It's part of the job. You know, I knew what I was getting into. I cut my teeth with the World of Warcraft players, so I knew as soon as I remember as soon as you guys started telling me something, I'm like, oh my god, how long is this going to take until it gets out to the whole community, and then I'm just going to be dealing with, the pitchforks coming at me.
Yeah.
But I do what I can. You know, I bring the information to see the thing about what I liked about a small studio like this is and especially having a relationship with you guys, is that really if something happens and I'm alerted, it pretty much gets to it pretty much gets to who you need to gotten to rather quickly. Even on weekends, I know you guys sometimes if something happens on a Saturday or a Sunday, if I see it in whatever chat we're in, I'm contacting people through email, going hey, and sometimes work does happen on the weekends where we're like, oh crap, something happened. Everyone who can, please go into the office and do whatever. I remember once I was wine tasting and I had something happen, and from whatever winery I was at, I was on my phone opening up the CS tool to do something to help someone who was in the office because it just needed to be done.
Yeah.
So we're a bunch of dedicated.
I remember at one point, I don't want to get too detailed here, but it must have been a weekend. No one was around. There was somebody, this was in the transition. Somebody was filling in for you, Rich, and sure enough on one of the, the conversations here or there was and I can't remember what it was, but oh my God, what's going on here? And they're in chat she's asking questions, and me and James and probably a few others were well, this is what's going on. And it was on a Saturday too, or a Sunday, some weird off the beaten path day.
That was Shauna.
Yeah.
Shauna.
And
if it wasn't me, if I was gone, if I, that time period when I was not working, then it was probably Shauna.
Yeah,
I think it was that weekend that they came in and told you to go for a walk, which is a bunch of assholes they were.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was
what
that
happened?
week with the shooting.
Whatever happened. It all kind of worked out for me.
Yeah. How many days have you gone to Disneyland now?
Dude,
Look,
every time I open up Instagram, there's Rich Disneyland, and I'm like, holy crap, man!
it's
the guy
like down the street.
How far
So
how far
imagine,
how far is it
it's
from you?
like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, all right. You must have like a season pass or something, right?
Oh yeah, I totally have a season pass.
I was gonna say, I mean,
Probably had a season pass since I moved here, so I can go whenever I want. Like a lot of me and my friends can just go. Sometimes we just go and like do one thing and then leave.
If you didn't have a season pass, his yearly salary would be just getting into Disneyland.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Imagine now having a season pass like I always do when Star Wars Land opens at Disneyland. I'm pretty much gonna hide somewhere every day and just live there. Especially if there's
Star Wars.
There's droids running around that place. I'm gonna find a hiding spot and just stay there all
that is. Oh, hey, James.
Myself and Joe are gonna be planning a trip down to Florida when it comes to Disney World.
Yeah, you sent me that message. You sent me that message, and like you were like, or you tagged me in it. And I was just like, that's so cool.
Or you can always come to LA and go to Disneyland.
I've never been to
What they're doing
Disneyland.
in Disney World is like they're doing 6 worlds of Star Wars.
It's the exact same thing they're doing here.
They're redoing like the big one there now?
Hmm?
Okay. Well, I like California.
I mean, look, Florida has like different parks.
Florida
So
has
there's
Jimmy's one-stop shop. That's for sure. You guys.
Florida's also got a ton of
that.
people.
If you guys are planning something, let me know.
Oh,
I'll meet you there.
I think it's in the works. We need to do this. We'll take a trip. Like,
Absolutely.
when is that? It's like I don't know when the opening date is.
2019.
Yeah.
2000. What year is
2019.
this? 2017.
27.
Maybe a couple of years.
Oh, so we have about a year and a half or two. Okay. Well, we're planning a trip because that's gonna be awesome. So get high dress in stormtrooper gear and try to blend in. You see the stormtrooper back on my wall?
I saw that.
Dude,
Awesome.
that thing took me forever to do. I was getting so pissed off. I finally got it done, man. Jeez.
Joe, Brian's missing a comma in his comment. The way you read it came out totally wrong.
Oh, I got you. There is a comma there.
No, there should be one.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I didn't where I lost the comment, but it was basically get high, dress up in stormtrooper gear. Wait, let me find it. Okay, here it is. Get high, dress in stormtrooper gear, and try to blend in. But yeah, I didn't read it the way I think he meant it. Basically, I'm saying we should cross dress.
I don't know what you're gonna do at Disney World, but I have no problem dressing like a stormtrooper.
Lil
I don't know if you
Simba.
want to dress up as a stormtrooper in Florida because that can get pretty hot.
Yeah.
So we have Lil Simba. It's him. Asks me, and I have no clue. I don't know if it would ever happen, but wants to know: will they add the Bugatti? Your guess is as good as mine. I would love to see. I'd love to see it, but who knows, man? Like we said, licensing is outrageous.
When it comes to any car being added to the game,
Yeah.
it could
Oh,
happen.
awesome.
Yeah. Hey, good night, Tech man. Thanks for joining.
Hi.
No Bugatti for you, he says. I want to repair all button to fix all engines. Edward, my man, you deserve a high five for that. That is the one thing that I so want in this game is a repair all button. Well,
Yeah.
there's two things. A repair all button. The second would be just a simple, and I know it's not simple, and it probably couldn't happen just because it sounds simple, but it's not. But I would love the way to copy tunes and like apply them to cars. So when I win a car, I don't have to go through part by part to set the tune up so I can race it again.
Right.
But
I mean, it's been suggested, so they know
yeah,
about it.
it sounds simple,
I'm
but
pretty
I
sure-
imagine
I'm
it's
pretty sure if they ask Daniel, it's on his list too. So,
yeah. So
like I said, time. Just give him some time. There's priorities
Yeah.
first. So
Fix green and orange glow. Yeah, orange glow. I didn't know green, but I know orange glow has a weird dual tone.
Yeah.
Green
Yeah.
is
Like, so some of those, cosmetic-y kind of bugs kind of take a back seat to more prominent things.
I would think
So
so.
they'll get to it eventually, but there's other things that need to be done before something.
the
So
messaging
the
system.
ones,
The biggest complaint.
I still can't chat with certain people. Like, I go to send them a message, error. Son of a bitch.
So-
Yes,
the honest
yes, Brian.
about
The
that,
toolbox.
the honest truth about that bug is that none of us could ever reproduce it, and that's a problem. So we can't reproduce it. We can't figure out what's wrong.
It just.
So like ever since it was reported, we're just like, can you do it? No. Can you do it? No.
I mean,
Like I don't know exactly. It's like some weird random thing that we can't see from our end just by looking at accounts. We had to figure out. We got to. That's the thing about bugs. We need to be able to reproduce it. If we can't reproduce it, then we don't know what's going on.
right. I mean, I have an account. I can do it, and it's nonstop. Like certain people, it always happens. It's just a given. I go to try to chat them, and it doesn't. But I found a way. Like if I delete them really quick, and then re-add them as a friend, it temporarily fixes it until I log out. It's kind of weird. Yeah, Todd, that is a ghost pepper. USB.
Slick.
That's awesome.
There it is. I think I pulled it out of his head the wrong way. But anyways, there. You plug his head right into the computer. That's what it
They're
is.
saying more space in Teams. I don't know. Like one of the big things today was people wanted less on Teams now. They can't fill them.
Like more than 25 people or whatever.
I think they're
How
20.
many?
Yeah.
You want
What's
like
more?
40?
You want to go back to 50?
Weren't teams bigger before?
Teams were 50. 50, yeah.
They used to be 50. And a 4-day turf, too.
Yeah, definitely a 4-day turf. I remember that. What is
I don't know about more people.
That's great. What is this? Matt Beard says, Joe, can I send you some, what is that? Mercy USB? What is that? I don't know.
Mercy.
I don't know.
I don't know. I love opening boxes and subscription boxes. Speaking of that, Rich, are you going? Oh, Rich, are you going to Comic-Con?
Am I going to Comic-Con? No, I am not going to Comic-Con this year.
No.
I've been for like the past 12 years, and it's a lot. Like the San Diego Comic-Con is just a crazy experience. Like, but I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, it's gotten harder to do stuff. It's gotten harder to get a hotel or some place to stay. It's getting harder to get parking to go over there. So I enjoy these smaller cons now. Like basically, San Diego Comic-Con has been. It's just like, so there in Anaheim, there's the WonderCon, which is like the baby version of that. It's the meat. It's like, it's all the vendors, it's all the artists, it's all the actual comic book stuff.
Oh.
Without the big TV studios, without the big movie studios, and all the big celebrity panels, which everyone goes crazy for. Like the thing about Comic-Con, the San Diego one, it's gotten so crowded in there because, they have the big movie, booths where they have some of the stars come out, and then when stars comes out, that place gets congested, and it's just a hassle. It's cool. Like I recommend going at least once if you have the opportunity to. But like I said, I've been going for 12 years, and I'm pretty much burned out on it. Because like stuff I would go there for, I can see at another con. That's less helpful. So.
Now I'm gonna have to actually talk with you one of these days when we have more time. I'm just kind of curious. Like I want to go. I've never been there. I live on the East Coast. Never been there, but. One of these times, I want to, next year I want to go, is it just something you go? Do you have to get tickets? How does that, or is it just basically, what is it? Is it free?
So Comic-Con, no, it's definitely not free.
Damn. It was worth a shot.
And that's another thing. It's very hard to get into because like I remember the days where you can just go and get a ticket that day, but nowadays you need to now. It's almost like a lottery. You have to be lucky enough to be able to buy a ticket.
Really?
Because like if you have gone before this is the way tickets are sold. If you have gone the previous year and bought a ticket, you can enter into the pre-sales lottery for tickets, and that's just you on the day they come out, you all sign in and you're all in this digital lobby room, and then when the 9 o'clock hits, they let people in randomly. So even if you were there first, doesn't matter, because it used to be first come first serve, and then servers would just crash, right? Because as soon as 9 o'clock hits, everyone hits that button, and boom, it goes and becomes hell. So now they did this like random thing. So you now just have to be lucky enough to be picked to get a ticket, and that's just the pre-sales. So once those are done, then they have an allotment of normal sale tickets in the same process, but there's less.
Wow.
So it's like the place holds like 160,000 people. And there's way more than that who want to go.
Oh, I'm sure. Jeez.
So that's problem number one with San Diego Comic-Con. Number two, if you don't live in San Diego, you need a place to stay. And hotels get taken as there's a lottery for hotels. We used to do like an Airbnb thing, but people have caught on, and so those are even harder to get. Like some people arrange those things.
I just sleep under a bridge. I don't care.
Some people some people will sleep out on the lawn because there's the big movie panels are in this one hall, and people line up days before. So like whenever you go to San Diego Comic-Con, on the lawn, it's almost like a party because there's like tons of people just camping.
That's crazy.
So I mean, like, while I'm not gonna go again for a while, I think it is an experience that you just need to be part of it to.
See, I'd love to, but it seems now that it's not just. It seems real tough from what I'm hearing, to get in. It's not just hey, go and show up, which I was hoping you did. I was hoping it was free, but no.
Why Comic-Con though, Joe?
I've never been there.
Go to WonderCon. It's better.
And that's in Anaheim. Or would you say that was Anaheim, or?
It's in Anaheim, usually end of March, beginning of April.
End of March, beginning of April. Well, maybe I'll try
it's
that.
It's the same company that does it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it just doesn't have the bigger celebrities. It doesn't have all the huge TV booths and movie booths. So, but otherwise, it's the same. Like, it's almost the same kind of vendors, almost the same comic book vendors, artists, independents. They're all there, just without the.
So I'm guessing I could spend my next 4.5 months worth of paychecks there.
It's very, very possible.
So John Pineda says to stop talking about trips, talk about the game.
Oh, speaking of trips, dude, I'm going to Arizona soon. Yes, I can't wait. Leaving a week.
Nice.
So I'm going to be off the air for a little bit, guys. But, whoo, man, oh man. All right. So Pigpen had me on Racing Rivals. Pigpen Messenger. So.
What do they want to talk about on the game?
Just remember, I don't work there.
You could ask us questions.
Yeah, like, ask the dirty questions, guys, that you've always wanted to ask. I mean, what's the worst? Rich goes, no. I mean, come on. So,
tell us how you really feel, Rich. Now that you're not there.
I'm sure you met a lot of great people that you worked with.
I have a question for Rich.
Oh, ooh, yeah. All right.
What was it like once you were completely free? Did you get a sense of accomplishment and enjoyment when you were able to actually pester Daniel with topic questions?
It was a little therapeutic, I would say. But I mean, like, it's weird because I still have that urge to check our chat, and I still have that urge to check the forums, and I still have that urge to check the Facebook pages. and I kind of had to weed myself off. You know, out of this, it's something I did all the time, but like like I said, I worked for that community for 4 years, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm still curious about what's going on. I'm still curious about how people feel, and I'm still curious about what you guys are doing and what you guys think about what's going on. So
Well, you did it for years.
I'm still kind of around. I just not in the capacity that Daniel has. Like I don't know anymore what the inside stuff is. I don't know what cars are coming out. I don't know all that kind of all the changes that are happening. I don't know exactly what it is. So I'm kind of like looking at it through a spectator's eyes. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You know,
Complete role reversal.
all I know is Fast and Furious is still going to be around for like at least the rest of the year. So they're just on what, 6 and 7. The movies are 6 and 7, and there's still 4 movies to go.
They're going backwards. Is it completely backwards? Ryan's, or are they skipping?
No, it'll be backwards until we get to movie number 1.
Ah, man. So that is going to be nice. It'll be around for the rest of the year at least. That's cool. I'm sure they'll have something else lined up after that. Can't wait to install my yellow jackets when the R34 Race Edition comes out.
There's an R34 Race Edition coming?
That's what he says.
Oh, wow.
Never say never.
Those.
Somebody asked...
Hey, if you need yellow jackets, I got some.
It's his last pair.
Are you sure it's not the last set?
Somebody says, is there anything you're doing to stop lobby jumpers?
That's what I saw that. I was going to ask about that.
Me?
Personally, no.
I am doing nothing.
Now, Rich does not work for Carbonated or CIE or Glue anymore. He is our former community manager. He's just kind of giving us some insight as to what he has locked away in his brain, I guess. There was what was the other? Somebody was lobby jumpers, and then obviously somebody wanted to know if they'll ever have supported trades, and I seriously doubt supported trades, just because we talked about this earlier. It opens up a whole plethora of problems.
Yeah.
Opens.
It's definitely not a simple thing. So.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'll never say never. And maybe someone will come up with a better way of doing it that benefits the game and the players. That doesn't completely destroy the economy. I would say, I know one of before I left, I think one of the biggest things was the economy, and due to all the exploits and whatever, it's kind of broken.
Yeah.
Right. Before they even think about doing a trading thing, they need to fix the economy, and that's easier said than done. Right. So until that happens, there's no way they can really feasibly do a trading lot due to the state of the economy.
And the other question, the one that gets asked all the time, no, no, this one, removal of NOS, which I don't know. I've heard many times that's a completely
during the first player council, it was something that's brought up, and we were like, that seems very simple to do. And then we actually went and tried to figure it out, and it turns out that it's not. So that's what I know about it. I remember it was almost like, oh, that's what they want? We can totally give that to him. Walks off to his desk, comes back 5 minutes later, and we're like, yeah, it's a little more complicated than just turning it off or taking it out. There's something. It's basically can break everything in that car. So
break everything in the game. That's just like trying to get rid of ghost shifting.
It's like crossing the streams.
I mean, they made this small change.
Speaking of crossing the streams,
an update.
Check this out.
Yeah. What do you got?
Scored these at. I got the whole set, but I scored these at a flea market the other day. Check this out. It's the box is a little worn. But
Hey,
it's
Ghostbusters.
Hey,
Dr. Peter
that's-
Venkman. It scored a whole.
that.
You have them all?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I do. I have the three of them. Winston, I don't believe he ever consented to having his likeness.
Actually getting it done.
So yeah, I have the full
Really?
set that's been made. Yeah, there's Peter Venkman,
You had a figure.
Egon.
1280W.
Oh, Egon.
There's Egon,
Yes.
and then somewhere in here is. There we go. Oh, come on! This hurts. Here we
Get
go.
your ass off the.
Yeah, check that out. Can you see them? Don't
Right
cross the
beside it.
stream. I love my toys, man. I love my toys. Everybody's like, "What are you doing with all those toys?"
Just say, like, too bad I don't have a webcam. You can see the room I'm in and what I've got in this room.
Well, I saw a preview of it. What you had on your desk. Yeah, there's some cool stuff there. The little Star Wars, like it was I don't know if it was Matchbox or it made all the noises.
Oh, yeah. That was actually a Comic-Con exclusive.
Oh, that was.
That's
so
another
cool.
thing about San Diego. They have a lot of people, like, there's a lot of exclusives you can
Mhm.
get there, which also adds to the insanity of it. Like, after this, you should look up Comic-Con 2017 exclusives and just see the plethora of things that are
Oh,
super.
Then he's gonna really want to go.
No, I've already looked at. I've looked at some of them. There's some that I just absolutely want. There's I don't know. People, they're not the greatest toys in the world, but they're those Funko Pops. I like them. They're pretty cool.
Yep.
And there's a Skeletor one. There's a Skeletor that's already vaulted, but then there's a Skeletor. It's a new one. I can't remember, but it's an exclusive. But then they had Conan O'Brien. There's 4 Conan O'Briens.
Every year since he moved to TBS or whatever,
Mhm.
he's there every year, and he has like exclusive Conan Funko Pops. That's kind of cool.
See, it's just not
But
right.
it's crazy.
But
Like,
the problem is,
so
is people
this
buy them and just sell them for $200.
Yes, there's a
Like,
like even to get those things, sometimes you have to get there early, get in a line to get into another line. Literally, to get some of those exclusives, you have to get into this huge line. So that when the Comic-Con actually opens, we'll split into the individual lines you need to go to. So, a lot of line waiting.
so
Yeah,
there's a
it's
ton
crazy.
of Star Wars exclusives. There's so many out there. It's like
There's a 6
life is
inch
just
scale.
unfair.
Luke Skywalker with his land speeder exclusive
Mhm.
this year.
There's a Princess Leia hologram.
There's a whole bunch.
Life is just
But yeah,
unfair. I want them all. But Todd wants to know, James, are you still racing? Do you still race on a regular basis?
Yeah, I do. I don't pinks like I used to.
No.
I do race. I mean, well, here I mean, Rich doesn't work there anymore, so I'll let the cat out of the bag. For a long time, I was doing side work for him, helping out because I wasn't restricted by the time frame of hourly labor that they had. I enjoyed playing the game, so I did a lot of projects on the side for them.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a question asked actually a little while back. Someone asked, "How much track time have you actually put into the game?"
I would imagine
I
a
would
lot.
honestly like to find out because there's probably not many guys that have played the game more than I have in terms of hours spent on it. No, I'm not drunk. I don't get drunk very easily at all.
I'm drunk. Just kidding.
But yeah, a lot of questions are popping up. I'm just sitting here looking at them.
Yeah,
Really,
for
guys
for
asking
guys who are
me
just
weird-
joining us, shame on you, first of all, if you're just joining us, but thank you for joining us. With RR, the man with the band hammer, Ryyst, and James, this is my last pair of yellow jackets, I swear, Caricato. So, for those of you just joining in, that's who I'm chatting with. We're having a good time. We're talking about all sorts of stuff, video games, racing rivals in particular. We just got done talking about Comic-Con. Talked about Rich, his beginnings, where he's at now, what he's doing, what he does in his spare time, which I'm glad he gave us the abridged version. I don't want to know everything he does in his spare time. James. let's talk. You guys want to talk? Let's talk asphalt street storm racing a little bit. I'm curious. I mean, a lot of people, it's on the table. A lot of people are talking about it, and I'm just curious. I want to hear what people have to say about it. I mean, it is a direct competitor, obviously, but it has different features that may not appeal to some people. It may appeal to people that, you know, features in Racing Rivals doesn't appeal to them. So it's back and forth. What do you think of it?
I love the game. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I mean, it goes back to what we said earlier on in the stream, an hour and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Racing Rivals is old. Racing Rivals is still fun because we're used to it. You know, a lot of people that are going to look at this Asphalt Street Storm racing game, they're afraid of change. And to switch to that game now, after you've played Racing Rivals for so long, is very difficult. I will not lie, because the launch, anybody that's played the game knows the launch in that game is unique. And if you do not get used to it, you will not enjoy the game.
It's a whole different concept to get used to.
Yeah, it's not 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom.
It's like 3, 2, start to drop, hit launch at 1, and hope you don't cross the white barricade before go, because it's a rolling start on every race.
Right, and the Sauce God 35 also mentioned a big factor in it is the climate change. There's the winter, there's the fall, the rain, what else?
And the hot sun.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of different factors that also affect it, which is interesting. But it also annoys the crap out of me, man. You know how many cars? Well, I can't say I've lost a lot of cars, but I've definitely lost some cars because, like, winter will come. And then the other thing is they go from the 400-meter track to an 800-meter track, and you don't know when or where it's going to happen. You don't know the weather conditions. At least I think it's random. I'm not quite sure yet. But all depending on...
It's pretty random.
Yeah, so I mean, you may have a car that's fast right off the line, and it's good for a 400-meter, but if you get stuck with an 800-meter race, you end up falling short.
Yeah, anybody who wants to join Asphalt Street Storm Racing, contact VGU Cisco. He's selling cars. He's got lots of them. I just want to throw that out there.
What? Does he? That's such a surprise.
Not a surprise at all that Brian
Right there, look at that. Brian says,
and
I ain't
cash,
scared.
so.
What you want, what you need, ASS cars on deck.
I don't know about that abbreviation,
Asser. Yeah.
You playing Asser?
Oh, I've been going deep in that Asser game.
Was it Rod? Rod the other day made the comment in our chat that we had from the Players Council. He didn't make any reference to the game. So he just says, I just lost like 5 cars in pinks. I hate ass.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Oh, good old Rod. Man.
There was no prelude to the game. It was just, I hate ass. And, yeah.
Edward, I am all out of beer. That's what's happening. Actually, before the live stream, man, my wife tells me, she's like, you know, you don't have any beer. And I just like, my blood just ran cold. I don't know what I'm going to do. Exactly. No.
I'm drinking for you, Joe.
It's a school night. I got to work tomorrow. So, you know, it's probably in my best interest. Whew, it's already 11 o'clock. It's in my best interest to stay sober tonight. Man, I've been getting some good beer.
That's right. You guys are out on the East Coast. I'm like, it's only 8.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. Well, just remember, well, actually, I shouldn't say you because you wake up super early anyways, but when most of you people on the West Coast are waking up, I'm almost on my way home from work, so.
I noticed that.
Yep.
Like, mid-morning, like, I'm going home. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, like I'll get out of work and I put in a full day and it's like 11 o'clock where you guys are. And I'm like, holy crap, man.
Daniel pops in the chat. Hey guys, good morning. What's going on? What's new? And it's like, we're on our way home.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good evening, Daniel. He's like, good morning.
Bankrupt.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, all right. Well, I think we've had an awesome live stream. I'm going to say we're going to call it here. Been a lot of fun.
That's fine.
Thanks.
Easy, Chewy.
So, all right, Rich, thank you very much for joining us, taking time out of your evening, afternoon. I'm not sure which it is, but either way, thanks for taking time out of your day to chat with us. I enjoyed it. Certainly enjoyed it very much. James, thanks for joining me again.
Always a pleasure.
All the viewers out there, all my subs, all our racing rivals, friends and family, thanks for joining us. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Anyways, guys, I'm Pigpen, the one and only, and I'll see you again soon with another perfect launch tutorial. Take care.